If you're trying to buy a home in Halifax for under $500,000, the struggle is real. Currently in HRM, it's a seller's market across the board, meaning there's a lot more demand than there is supply. And this makes it difficult to purchase a home in any price point, but the hardest price point out there right now across HRM is the under $500,000 price range. And it's very, very difficult within this range, but it's not impossible. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the landscape for purchasing a home under $500,000 across HRM and what you can expect to deal with. And make sure you stick around until the end because I'm going to give you some tips of how to better your opportunity for success when you're writing offers on properties that are under $500,000. Now, just before I get into it, if you're new here, my name is Andrew Stevens, and I've been a realtor in Halifax for 9.5 years. And if you want to be educated on the Halifax real estate market, then you're in the right place. So hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to book a call or meeting with me to chat about real estate, or if you're thinking about making a move in the Halifax Dartmouth area, you can reach out to me anytime in the Calendly link below my description at a time when it's convenient for you. Okay, so let's jump right into this. And I'm a big numbers guy, and honestly, they really tell the story in this case. So currently, in HRM, like I said, there's very limited options for buyers under the $500,000 price point. And currently in HRM, there's only about 110 active homes for sale under $500,000. This is for all of HRM. We're talking Hubbards pretty much out to Muscadaubin and back down to Mount Uniacke area. So this is a huge, huge area. Only about 110 listings on the market that are single family homes under $500,000. So very, very limited supply if you're looking in this price range. And yes, this is the case for all price ranges right now. There's only about 800 active listings in all of HRM at any price point, but again, only about 110 under $500,000. So it's extremely, extremely low. So if we look at the listing inventory, that works out to about 0.8 months of listing inventory, which again is a serious seller's market. And to put this into context for you, when the market across HRM was at the absolute peak in early 2022, we had about 0.3 to 0.7 months of listing inventory at that time. So this is very comparable to that when the market was absolutely off the rails at its peak in the first few months of 2022. Now, what this means, because I know that's a lot of numbers being thrown at you, what this means is there's way more buyers out there than there are people selling their property in this particular price range. So it's extremely, extremely competitive. And so far this year, we've seen about 51% of listings in this price range sell for over the asking price, for about an average of $33,000 over the asking price. And if I look at the ones that sold for asking price or higher, that's at about 57%. So basically what this is telling me is you have about a 50% chance of competing, so being in a bidding war, if you're looking to write an offer on a home that's listed under $500,000. And how many offers you're going to see is going to depend on how aggressive they were with the listing price, how low did they go, what neighborhood it's in, what the condition of the home is, and so on. But I can tell you that the last 5 or 6 times I've written an offer on a property that was listed under $500,000, we saw double-digit offers that we were competing against. So yes, we are seeing a ton of competition in this price point, and most times it's going over the asking price. But at the same time, just because 50% of the time are going over, that means 50% of the time they're going under as well. So there are still opportunities out there, but you need to be very proactive when you're looking so that you can make sure you can jump on opportunities very, very quickly, or else they'll be sold before you even get into the home for a viewing. Now, out of all the homes that are selling under the asking price in this price range, they're selling for an average of $17,000 under the asking price. But there's some in there that sold way under the asking price that are kind of bringing the averages up. So generally speaking, most of them are selling still very close to the asking price if they're not getting asking price or over, and they're still selling for about $10,000 to $15,000 or less under the asking price. So even though you may get a deal and you might get one under the asking price, maybe they listed a little bit too high to begin with, so they sat on the market for a week or two, it doesn't mean you're going to have all kinds of room to play with. There is very little negotiating happening at this price range of under $500,000 right now across the HRM. So yes, it's extremely difficult to purchase a home under $500,000 right now in the HRM, but it's not impossible. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips that are going to help you out if you're thinking about buying a home in this price range across the HRM. So number 1, work with a buyer's agent. This is imperative to your success. There are so many inquiries that come in on every single listing, especially in this price range, and a lot of them are going to fall through the cracks with the listing agent. You want to have a buyer's agent who's experienced, who's working for you, and who's watching out for your best interest and is going to be able to write an offer that's clean and that works for the sellers as much as possible to help better your chances in a bidding war. And I'm not saying that because you need to hire me by any regards. I'm just saying you need to have a buyer's agent if you want to be successful in this market. It's going to make a huge difference and it's going to be a lot easier for you. And it's going to make a lot more sense when you're out there looking at properties. Now, number 2 is have a solid pre-approval. Now, not every pre-approval is the same because sometimes they don't get your documents, they don't do a credit check or anything like that. So when I say a solid pre-approval, I mean you're pre-approved with a mortgage specialist, somebody who eats, sleeps, and breathes mortgages. They do mortgages all day long, and that's all they do. And they're working on commission, so they have a very vested interest in you getting a deal together. Now, with this mortgage specialist, you want to make sure they have all your documents, so all your pay stubs or your T4s or your T1 generals or whatever they need from you. They've already ran a credit check and you know it's solid. And furthermore, you want somebody that can get the approval done quickly because the quicker you can turn around your condition period, the better chance you're going to have in a bidding war. So if you have somebody who's saying it's going to take 10 business days to get a financing approval, well, I can tell you that I know multiple brokers who can do it in 2, 3, or 4 days, depending on the situation. So yes, not every single approval is super straightforward and easy, but if they're saying it's going to take 10 or 14 business days, it's too long and you're already shooting yourself in the foot before you go out and look at properties and write an offer. Number 3, you want to match the seller's closing date if possible. You want to be as flexible as you can and give the seller everything they want. And that way, aside from price, your offer is going to really stand out as a nice, clean offer that is enticing for a seller to accept. Number 4, you want to have as little conditions as possible. I would suggest that anything over the standard financing, inspection, insurance confirmation, lawyer review, and deposit is probably not really worth it to put in there. All those conditions have you protected 10 ways from Sunday. So if you have those conditions, you should be good to go. And if you're putting anything extra in, just know that every extra condition is an extra out for you as the buyer to take from that deal. And the seller's not going to like that when they're stacking up their 10 offers and looking at, do I take this one or this one or this one? So you want to have a clean offer, as little conditions as possible, and you want to turn it around as quick as possible. So if you can do it in 5, 6, or 7 business days, again, that's going to help you out substantially when the sellers are looking at your offers. As long as the price range is relatively similar to the top, having those quicker conditions is going to make your offer stand out from the rest. And number 5, and this one is super important, be realistic and have your expectations in line with reality. So just because you're buying a home under $500,000 does not mean that has to be your forever home. And maybe it is and maybe it isn't. That's not for me to say. But my point is, you don't need to wait it out for the perfect home. Most houses in this price range across HRM right now are going to have some little things that are not perfect because you're not building a custom home on a lot you picked and it's a brand new build, right? So there's going to be things you want to change, maybe renovate, maybe there's some touch-ups to do, but it's important for you to get into the market. Time in the market compared to timing the market. The quicker you can get into the market means the quicker you're building equity, means the quicker you're moving up to that forever home down the road, if that is within your goals and what you want to accomplish. If you're still here watching and you got any value out of this video, all I ask is that you hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future content, and that'll help push this out to more people like you who may be interested in being educated on the Halifax and Nova Scotia real estate market. And if you're still here and you're looking for a home currently in this price range, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Are you having issues? Have you had success? Did you hit it on the first try? Or have you lost a few in multiple offer situations or bidding wars so far? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below to hear about what your experience has been like in this market in Halifax right now, which is a very, very tough one. And until next time, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it and have a great day.